Prince Andrew could face a civil trial in America next year. That was said overnight by a judge in a hearing for Virginia Giuffre's sexual assault case against the Duke. Well, US lawyer Arick Fudali, who's represented 8 alleged victims of Jeffrey Epstein, joins me now. Thank you, Arick, for joining us. Always appreciate it. Can you talk us through what happened yesterday, exactly what happened and what the implications are?
Absolutely. So essentially, the court set a loose scheduling order that's going to lead, of course, to the inevitable trial if it goes that far in late 2022. What was significant, of course, is there was a discussion of depositions or interviews, under oath. And it was indicated by both parties that the parties would be the ones opposed, so that Prince Andrew, of course, would have to face a sworn deposition, and so would Miss Giuffre. So that was pretty interesting. And the court also gave a deadline of, I believe, July of 22 to get those depositions completed.
Right. So what does that actually mean then? Does that mean that Prince Andrew gives this in writing or on video? And does it mean that other members of the royal family may have to do that too?
Perhaps. So typically the way depositions are done in the United States is it's an interview, a sworn under oath interview that is transcribed. So typically those last about 7 hours. That is the limit in federal courts in the United States. And usually what would happen is Prince Andrew would have to sit in a conference room or a court reporter's office and be interviewed. Now, obviously, due to some perhaps COVID restrictions and travel restrictions, perhaps that could be done via video. But my guess is it'll be done not in writing, but actual questions and answered live in person, whether it's either video or actually together in person. And absolutely, the standard for taking depositions is that the witness has to have information that is reasonably calculated to lead to admissible evidence. And that sounds complicated, but basically anyone who has relevant information to the lawsuit could potentially be deposed.
It's fascinating, isn't it? And it's also very interesting that the tactics have changed quite dramatically, haven't they?
Absolutely, yes. And, Prince Andrew responded with what we'd call an aggressive motion to dismiss. And the court will ultimately eventually decide, if this case is going to move forward based on the many points made by Prince Andrew's attorneys in that motion to dismiss, for which, of course, Ms. Giuffre will get a chance to respond.
It's interesting, though. I mean, tactics like that we were talking about this yesterday, that could backfire, actually.
Certainly, it certainly could. Now, the court is only going to evaluate whether the complaint accepted as true. So when we evaluate a motion to dismiss in U.S. federal courts, you assume the allegations in the complaint are true, and then the court makes an evaluation as to whether those allegations support valid theories of the law. So that's what the court is going to ultimately consider. It gets a little bit complicated there as to, so when you allege other facts or you allege other things outside the confines of the complaint, the court's not going to consider those. At least at this stage.
Right. Interesting. Arick, thank you. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again, but for now, thank you very much indeed. And our royal editor, Russell Myers, joins me now. There's a lot of concern about what's going to happen next year. Now, obviously, the focus should be on these huge celebrations for the Queen. It's a massive jubilee, and it should be, it should be something for her to really look forward to. But she's got this hanging over her head, hasn't she?
Well, she has indeed, and I think that you're completely right. The focus and the attention that the palace will want it to be on is the Platinum Jubilee, this record-breaking year for the Queen. Obviously, she's been in poor health. She's been told to take a rest by doctors, stepping back from her royal duties, and the focus is really to get back on to top form and to be focused on that Platinum Jubilee. However, this is going to leave quite an unsavoury cloud over those preparations. I think you just heard that the judge ruled that the case should be coming into play around the autumn of next year. Well, that would be after the Jubilee celebrations. However, both sides have said that they are potentially going to name 12 witnesses, and we just heard that there will be potentially people who have relevant information, and one of those people could be Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. And if she is in court, that will be absolutely extraordinary. We have a person who is largely in exile from the royal family for the last couple of decades, and now she would be potentially, defending his honour in a courtroom. It's absolutely extraordinary turn of events.
It is, and she's always been incredibly loyal, and we should say that he has always stressed his innocence. He denies all of these charities, of course he does. But you do have to worry, as you said, the Queen hasn't been very well. We have been concerned about her. She doesn't need this stress and worry and all of that, does she? It's going to take the shine off the Jubilee for her.
Well, I think that's certainly the fear, and you look at the royal family over the last week or so, or indeed the last couple of weeks. They've been very united. At COP26, we saw William and Charles speaking on a platform together, very, very, very much in business. What the Queen was talking about, the environment and the climate change, imploring world leaders to stand up and be counted. And surely that is what the royal family should be focused on. We've had such a tumultuous couple of years, and certainly they will want to be getting back to business than usual. However, this is going to leave a very, very dark cloud over any business that they want to do next year. So they would want it sorted sooner rather than later, but it doesn't look like it's going to be sorted anytime soon.
No, that's very true. Oh, they must be fuming. Can you imagine Prince Charles and Prince William behind closed doors? I wouldn't mind hearing those conversations, would you? Anyway, yeah. Russell, thank you very much indeed. Thank you so much. It's always good to talk to you. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.